All right. Hello, my name is Jacob Livingood. You're listening to the Living Good with Jacob Livingood podcast. Today is a great episode. I'm excited to make it. We're going to talk about loving being a slave in the Matrix, but not eating the steak, all right? We're following an analogy from the Matrix films, right? So, mostly what this is really about is like loving the season that you're in, divine timing, and like playing the role of where you're at, right? Because it does no sense. Here's the thing, right? I have this bad habit, which my dejectors, my haters like to call toxic positivity, but it's actually a winner's formula, all right? No matter what trial or tribulation or season I'm in, I find a way to throw a positive spin on it because it does no good to be like in self-loathing, right? When you're in a situation or circumstance that kind of sucks and it's not the greatest, like what good does it serve you to just pout about it? It doesn't actually. So find a way to look at it positively. All right, so eating the steak sucks. And what is that an analogy for? That's an analogy for like just becoming complacent and subservient to the system. Whereas I found joy in being a slave in the Matrix. And there's a Venn diagram that I want to spell out for the positives and negatives, right? Because there are negatives still. There are positives. The two sides of that coin are, right? The negatives are like, I feel like this isn't where I envisioned my life being, and I'm, quote, behind, right? I should be further along than this. I shouldn't have to be doing this. And then at the same time, the other side of the coin is divine timing. I'm exactly where I need to be, when I need to be, why I need to be. Also, God's got me. Also, this is like part of the pruning process. I'm just learning. I'm growing. I'm evolving. I'm actually super excited about this. Let's look at the positives, right? So the first positive actually sounds like a negative, but it's actually a mega positive. The first positive is I learned how much I suck at time management. Jake, you just said these are the positives. Yes, this is a positive, right? Because you can't fix what you can't see. All right? Unconscious incompetence. If you don't know it's a problem, you're never going to take the action steps to actually fix the problem because you don't think it's a problem yet. I've been full-time running my business for 5 years, and I've just been pulling profits to pay for expenditures. And I did a podcast, 4 or 5 months ago about becoming a slave in the Matrix, getting a job just over broke, an occupational slave ship. And at first I was like kind of bogged down by it, but now I'm fired up because for several reasons. And one of those reasons being, I realized, okay, I was pulling profits from my business when I'm running full-time just to pay for expenditures. And I thought, all right, look, I'm doing great. My time management skills are fantastic. I'm blocking my time properly. Now I have to achieve the same, if not more, in a much smaller chunk of time. And that has taught me, wait a second, my time management skills aren't nearly as good as I thought, which is a good thing ultimately because that means that I can work to improve that, which I have been. Initially, when I got the job, my PQOs went down to 0% for a couple of weeks until I managed to figure out, juggling all these plates at the same time. Then brought them back up to 65, 75%. Still not where I wanted them to be, but the pullback in my business was only about 55, 60%, which is less than I thought it was going to be, which is actually profoundly beautiful because that means, to some extent, we've got passive income generating here, which is great. That allows me to scale. Also, I didn't change my lifestyle expenditures. Okay, that's the biggest trap that the Matrix used to enslave you is, okay, you get an increase in pay. I need to increase my lifestyle expenditures to match this increase in pay. Okay, well, I was making $2,000. Now I'm making $8,000 a month, so I need to go get a auto loan for a brand new C8 Corvette, all in, gas, insurance, everything. It's going to cost me about $1,500, but don't worry, I've got that gap there in my income, so I can afford it, right? No, you can't. You really can't. That's really a poor thing. That's lifestyle inflation, and that's how they get you caught forever because you're trying to service bad debt and you're barely floating by. Haven't increased my lifestyle expenditures at all. Don't plan to for an extended period of time. And all the while, I was already living off of the profits from my business. So now my net increases substantially, but my lifestyle expenditures don't, which means I have a much larger chunk of change at the end of each month to put into investments, to put into building systems, hiring virtual assistants, doing all of that stuff. So the business is actually getting to the point where it's scaling more effectively despite me having an occupational slave ship. I am trading time for money, doing a role that pays me far less than what I'm worth, but it's worth it because I'm seeing my bank accounts all steadily increase because I haven't raised my expenditures, but I'm making more money. That's a huge win. Some of the negatives, because by the way, there are negatives. I feel like Patrick Bateman, dude, from American Psycho. Like, if you've met me in person, most people that watch this probably haven't, I couldn't care less about small talk. I don't care. I don't watch. I know I have a TV right there, but that thing is connected to a Nintendo 64. I don't have TV. I don't watch TV. I don't watch sports. I don't care who's playing. I couldn't care less. I don't know about the players. It's not relevant to my life. Oh, my team's playing. No, it's not your team, okay? You're a fanboy. You wear their jerseys. You wear another man's name on the back of your shirt. It's not your team. You don't have any investment in it. You're not making any money off of it. You're just investing. It's a time suck for you. It's stealing your livelihood from you. It's not your team, okay? So I won't play the games. I don't like it. I think it's dumb. I get it. You know, part of the slave class is people need the circus so that they don't revolt. That's how they keep you trapped on the cog in the wheels. I won't play the game. Just like Neo in The Matrix Reloaded, I've walked back into the Matrix as an awakened conscious being to help awaken others who are ready to be awoken. But some of them are so enamored, so hopelessly enurged by the system that controls them that they will fight to protect it. And unfortunately, that's true. So I feel like Patrick Bateman because I'm walking around on downtime. I'm over here. I got headphones in. I'm listening to sermons. I'm listening to motivational speeches. I'm listening to coursework, course material, learning things that are helping me grow my life and business and skill sets outside of work. And every once in a while, I'll listen into what's being talked about. People are gossiping. People are complaining about how their life sucks. People are talking about how they don't have enough money. People are talking about how they just financed $3,000 worth of computer technology hardware where they don't even have the cash for it, and when the next paycheck comes up they'll have just enough to be able to service that credit loan. And it's like, okay, so not only are you living paycheck to paycheck, you're living next paycheck to next paycheck. You're future spending money you don't even have yet. That's I'm appalled, and it really actually normalcy makes me mad. So I feel like Patrick Bateman because I'm not talking to anybody. Dude, I have my headphones in, I ignore everybody, and some of the people that I am friends with, and they know me, they follow me, they see what I'm about, and they have actual great intellectual conversation with me. They're like, dude, like some of the people here think you're like kind of weird, because you're like the quiet guy, you don't talk to anybody, you just got headphones in all the time, and I'm like, look, I don't really belong here. Like, I can teach you massive things that will completely fundamentally shift your life, but I cannot make a horse drink water. I can lead you there, but you're going to have to do it yourself. And most people aren't ready for it, unfortunately. And I'm not going to I'm not going to lower myself to talk about sports. One, because I can't. I don't know anything about it. I don't care. I know, by the way, I know things about sports. I played sports. I understand how the game functions. I don't know about the teams. I don't know about the players. I don't know how the season's going. And also, all those things, I don't care. I care negative about it. Like, it actually irks me to be talking about it, and I will turn around and I will literally, in the most rude way possible, and I don't mean it in a rude way, but you might take it in a rude way, I will, in the middle of your sentence, I will turn around and I will walk away without saying a single thing. Just completely end the script of this NPC rambling. I will walk away and you'll go, what the heck? I was in the middle of a conversation with that guy. Yep, you lost my attention. I don't care. You want to talk about escaping the matrix, building high income skills, being fiduciarily responsible. You want to talk about passion projects, creative hobbies. You want to talk about fitness. You want to talk about health. I'm in. You want to talk about financing things you can't afford, buying this new car that you can't afford. You want to talk about gossip, how you don't like this coworker because of this, that. I don't care. I will not divulge myself into this low vibrational pattern of behavior. So please excuse me while I don't participate in this. That's some of the bad things about it. And actually, you know, I like to spin things in a toxic positivity way, right? Because I like to always look at the good side. There's actually a good in that, right? Because seeing that that's how the majority of people operate firsthand, watching it, I'm so unbelievably grateful that I'm not in that vibrational state. I am so grateful I don't think that way. I am not a cog in the matrix. I am not an unconscious sheep that's just going along with, oh, well, I'm supposed to gossip about people. If I can gossip with this person about this other person, then we can form a bond together against this person. No, you're dumb. You're actually worse than dumb. You're an idiot. Okay? So I actually love that I'm not in that vibrational state, which is a beautiful thing. Some other good things, all right? The job that I'm doing, it's ramp for an airport, loading and unloading airplanes. It is so menial. And, right, you could think that, oh, it's menial, that means it's bad. It's actually so menial that it's good for me. Because safety is a big precaution, and you need to make sure you're consciously aware of your surroundings and you're not doing anything that could endanger yourself, the airplane, or anyone else. But overall, it's so menial compared to the high-level workload that I do outside of this occupational slave ship. I get to just relax, turn my logic fallacy mind off, and just chill. It allows me to, when I deal with an impasse in my business and I'm stuck logistically on trying to solve a problem, I can go to this job. All I'm doing is this menial task load. I'm unloading, I'm reloading, I'm scanning. It's real easy stuff. So easy that it allows me to slow my thoughts down so that I can actually solve these impasses in my personal life that I'm dealing with. It allows me to get past mental blockages, which is a huge W. It's actually a huge W. Big. Another reason why it's actually profoundly awesome being a slave for a season in the Matrix is because it's allowed me to really step into faith instead of fear. At first it didn't, by the way. At first, for the first 3 weeks of doing this role, and I didn't get to turn my computer on for almost 3 weeks straight, 21 days. It was 17 days, and I failed 75 hard in the same time period. I was like, dude, my dreams have died. I've literally become a cog in the Matrix. My dreams have died. They're never going to pick back up again. It's over. I'm just a slave now. I'm an NPC. I've become a bot. And I just stepped fully into fear. I've stepped now further into faith, going, all right, well, this is a character pruning season. I'm just building right now. I've taken 2 steps back so that I can inevitably take 10 steps forward. I'm getting better at my time management. I'm getting better at my PQOs. More stuff's getting done in my business. My cash flow's going up. I'm going to be able to get a quadplex. It's all coming together, and it's allowed me to zoom out more and look at the divine timing of it all and how I'm exactly where I need to be. God is positioning everything around me in my life so that it does all come to pass and it all falls in together just like a puzzle. It all comes together at the exact right time. And that time's coming. And all the while, outside of the occupational slave ship, I'm more locked in than I've ever been. I'm getting up at 3:30, 4:30, 4 a.m. Anytime between that block, depending on what my workload for the next week looks like. I'm getting up. I'm going to the gym 7 days a week. I'm locked in. Peak physical shape. I just hit 9% body fat for the first time in my life. I'm shredded. I'm doing 5 consecutive muscle ups now. When I started fitness, I couldn't do a single pull-up. I was obese. Okay, so we're going in the right direction. Wealth is up. Love. I'm learning to set boundaries with those individuals and not feel guilty about it, right? That's self-love. You're stepping on me vibrationally, energetically, because that makes you feel good. I'm done putting up with that. Boom, place a boundary. And I used to try to soft place a boundary, and then when they'd have pushback, oh, sorry, and then I'd make myself smaller. I'm done with that. No, this is you're not going to talk to me like that. You're not going to treat me like that. And I stand on it, and guess what? It's respected. So I'm learning that. The love pillar is getting dialed in. The fulfillment pillar, dude, I'm actually more fulfilled now than I've ever been because I'm seeing the tangible growth of everything I'm trying to work on all at the same time come together. So while I have become a slave in the Matrix temporarily, it actually has been much more good than bad. One of the other bads that I didn't touch on that actually is mildly quarrelsome is I hate having to be told when to be where by someone else that's less intelligent than me and far less accomplished than me. It's wildly, and now mind you, that's probably ego, right? Okay, I signed up to do this job, that's fine, but it's just, bro, I've gotten in trouble several times because I'm late. And it's like, dude, I have other stuff going on that I literally get paid more money simply to wake up and be alive another day and exist than this occupational slave ship. Do you think I care that I was 10 minutes late? I don't care. I couldn't care less. Sorry. It doesn't matter to me. But it does matter to them. I understand it. KPIs, I get it. I get it. It's fine. So I've worked that up and I've become better at being a great employee, which means all the more I'll be a better executive. So, that's quarrelsome. It's kind of annoying. We're working on it, trying to get better. The microcosm is the macrocosm. So how you do anything is how you do everything. And one of the really cool things about stepping back and becoming a slave in the matrix and just being an employee, it actually, being a great employee is absolutely 100% indicative of being capable of being a great executive. So no matter what I'm doing, I absolutely strive to be the best. And I'm good at that. What can I say? So, yeah, I think it's really important. Now, mind you, all of this is to say, because going back to the bad of not wanting to gossip with people and talk with these people about all the low vibrational stuff or talk about sports, all this is to say, it's okay, in my philosophy, my ethos, it's okay to be a slave for a season. It's not okay to eat the steak and be subservient to the system and be a slave for life. The game plan, the model of reality where I'm just going to go ahead and get this job for 45 years, retire at 65 with a 401k and a Roth IRA, cash out, and live a meager lifestyle until I die. That is, one, it's mega depressing, and two, it's just stupid. It's actually dumb, because every single one of us has some sort of passion, whether that's a creative, artistic passion, whether it's logical. There's something that you love. Each and every single one of us has one installed in us, or several. It is vitally important that you find a way to externalize that gift and make it your livelihood, because there's enough abundance for all of us to do it. So it's okay to be a slave for a season. It's not okay to eat the steak and be subservient to the system for the entirety of your life and never fall in love and find what you love and make that happen. So that's one of the things is really frustrating for me, is you can't, unfortunately, not everybody has ambition, which I'm trying to learn, and I haven't quite figured it out yet. I don't get how people don't have a spark. Like, even when I was a wandering generality, not a meaningful specific, and I wasn't acting on my spark, I knew I had a spark. See what I'm saying? I was still a wandering generality, just meandering through life, but I knew internally, inside of myself, I have these passions, and I don't know how I'll do it. I don't even see a game plan. I don't even understand a skill that would allow this to happen, but I have these passions, and I know that if I could make these passions my livelihood, I'd be fired up, and that would be beautiful. Even when I was a wandering generality, I knew, I saw it. Even though I didn't see it, I still saw it. And I was like, I could do this. I want to do this. I'll find a way to do this. That's faith. That's belief. That's going, I don't see how. I don't see where. I don't see when. I don't see why. But this is my passion, and I'm going to do it. So I really have a hard time. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a egoic, narcissistic thing to say. Because it's genuinely a lack of empathy is really what it is. Because I don't get how you could not have a spark. Like Joey Diaz says it too. Like, I don't like normal people. You gotta have something. I don't care what it is. And he gave some outlandish examples, right? Like, if you love Coke, right? Like, just, you gotta have something. You like the black, then the black tar, and you like something. You gotta have something. And it's just true, man. It's like, I don't necessarily, like Togi, for example. I love Togi. He's an inspiration. I look up to him. But, like, I'm a God-fearing Christian man. I don't agree with gambling. I don't gamble. I don't think that it's necessarily a smart idea at 20 years old to be blasting up a bunch of Anavar, Test Trend. Like, I don't think that's a great plan for the longevity of your life. He does it. He's doing it at a high level. He's doing it well. He's got the passions, and he's externalizing those passions. He's doing it. I love him. I love the guy. I don't necessarily agree with what it is that he's doing, but he's awesome. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, There's no way. There's actually, I don't even think it's a lack of empathy. I think it's just not meandering or pandering to your low vibrational feelings. Like, there's no way you don't have a passion. You might not consciously be aware of what your passion is, but I promise you've got a passion. It's there. It's just maybe hidden, or maybe it's just been so packed in under the dirt of the monotony of life that your spark's been slightly fizzled out. It's not ignited. See, that's the thing. You've still got the spark. It's just hidden. And I have a hard time believing that ambition... See, ambition's supposed to be contagious. I feel ambition's contagious. When I get around people that are younger than me and they're doing multiple 7 figures CAGR, like, dude, it fires me up. It makes me excited. Like, I'm like, dude, this guy's doing better fiscally and geopolitically better than I am. As far as what they're achieving on the world stage, they're doing more than I am. In the eyes of God, we're all the same. But as far as to the marketplace, this person's better than me. And instead of getting envious and jealous, I think it's awesome because I'm like, this is the example. This means it's possible. And if it's possible for him, it's possible for me too. That's how winners think. Losers think, look at this guy. Thinks he's better than me. He's doing all this stuff. He's just gloating with his success. No, relax, dude, okay? It's the example. This guy did it, so why can't you? I think ambition should be contagious. It's only not contagious if you're battling the toxic sludge, the plague that is a losing mindset, right? And so there's a lot of losers out there, man, and as heartless as it sounds, and it's not, though, because I love everybody. I really wish everybody was optimistic enough to externalize their gift, because I know we all have gifts, and I know there's enough abundance for us to all live our gifts. It's not a lack of empathy, and it's not a lack of love, but it's like, dude, if you're just normal, you're complacent, and you're just going to complain about being normal and complacent, I can't talk to you, bro. Like, your attitude about life is, 1, destructive, and 2, it's just toxic, and it's like a slippery, slimy sludge that can get on other people. And I'm good. I've worked far too long, too hard to get down in the dumps about, oh, boo-hoo, poor me. No, okay? We're not going to play that game. I'm not going to play that game, certainly. And then I'm going to tell you how I think, and you're going to go, well, look at this guy. He's all opinionated, and he thinks he's better than me. Shut up. I don't think I'm better than you. I think I've become far more advanced to the marketplace. I'm more intellectual. I'm actually using my mind. My mind is turned on. Yours might be turned off, and you're just floating through life, meandering along, hating yourself. I'm not going to play that game. And I don't think you should play that game. And me pointing out to you that you shouldn't play that game isn't rude. It's actually love. It's just sometimes you need to hear things in love that hurt your feelings. Isn't that right, Kat? Yes, it is. Anyways, yeah, becoming a slave in the Matrix has actually served me quite well. It's allowed me to really zoom out, look at my life path as it's playing out, and have more faith in the doing, which I'm very excited about. So we're winning, we're playing the game, and we're getting more and more effective. The PQOs are going up, the DMOs are going up. Everything is happening faster, more effectively, quicker, and better. I'm improving. So that's all we can ask for, 1% a day. I love you. Peace.